Hello, welcome back to Squad. Today we've got a heli tutorial, so it's kind of how to fly, how things work. These helis in these games are really not that complicated. It's just understanding the momentum that these things have. Think of them as like bathtubs. Like that's gonna have a lot more momentum than those two helis because they weigh less. But real quick, let's just get into how this works. So a helicopter is pushing air down. It's pushing air down, which is going to cause it to lift. And since this spins in a certain way, this has to push air the other direction to keep it straight. What's gonna end up happening when you get into these helis is you're gonna try to fly it like a plane, and it's gonna be really hard to deal with this like collective thing that you don't know what to do, and you're all over the place. This is gonna make it a lot simpler when it comes to squad. So the second you get in the heli, it's going to show you the keybinds at your top right. You're going to want to click E, start the engine. It's going to move the props, and they're going to start spinning. So if you look, it says W and S is to increase and decrease my collective. So what that's going to do is anything under 45% increasing my collective is not going to do anything to the heli unless you want to like hop up and down, but that's advanced. This is just the basics. So the second I start putting my collective to 45, it's like, okay, it's my hover speed. I'm going to put it to 50 and it's going to lift. And most of you will be panicking and like, oh, but I don't know what to do now. Like, yeah, if I can fly straight, I can't land. But one of the things about helis that you're gonna have to learn is a lot of it is just about control. If I don't, like, I haven't touched my mouse where I'm actually flying the thing, and I'm just standing still in the air. Now, the most important thing that I'm going to tell you, when you first start, do not try to fly low, and just try to take it super slow. Don't bump your collective to 100. So I'm going to head down this little range. I'm going to keep my collective at like 60%. I'm just going to go nice and slow. I'm tilting the nose of the heli forward to fly it, and then I'm recorrecting once I've done too far by pulling back with my mouse. See, I'm getting too low, so I'm going to pull up. It's going to raise my altitude. And if I want to go down, I'll point the nose down. It's going to bring me down. Now, one of the things you're going to have to understand in squad is these helis can be flicked around really easily. In fact, that's how you J-hook and do a lot of other advanced maneuvers in these helis. But I don't recommend trying any of that. Now, a lot of you are like, I can fly straight, I can do everything else, except for probably J-hook. How do I land? Well, a lot of that is going to be control, like I've said in the past couple seconds. But these heavies, this heli is going to want to keep its speed, and it's going to be like, how do I slow down? So you'll see, or at least you've probably tried, if you've gotten to this point where you're looking at videos, or if you're just wondering how to, slow down in these helis. So I'm gonna try to land in one of those heli spaces without J-hooking. What I'm doing right now is I'm keeping my collective low, so it's gonna lower my speed and eventually my height. But since I'm going so slow, it's just gonna kind of be hard to get down. I'm just gonna put it down a little bit. So when you get to a point where you need to make a normal landing, you're gonna want to try to slow down your heli as much as possible. Get rid of all the momentum and try to keep your collective around 40%. If I have my collective anything above 40, it's going to want to raise altitude. And you're going to slowly just work down the collective, and you're slowly going to start falling out of the sky. You can make little adjustments with A&S for your nose. You want to keep that nose authority in a specific location because of your tail rudder, and if you hit that against anything, you kind of go. So right now I'm over the helipad. I'm going to click C to check. I'm going to lower my collective to 20. And boom, I've landed. Now, as you see, I'm not doing anything fancy. Just ignore the fact that I didn't land on any of those. But I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just controlling the bird and making sure I'm not doing too erratic movements. It's gonna be hard to understand that when you first start, but the main thing is to watch your collective, have nose authority, and try not to do anything fancy, if that makes sense. And especially in landings, this is going to be helicopter specific. Not all helis will fly like this Raven, but these tail rotors break very easily on the loach, which I will show you in a little bit. And just in general, so you need to be very careful where you put the nose of your heli, because it's going to impact where your tail rotor is going to be. Now, for a quick little advanced demonstration, if you know how to fly, but you don't know how to J-hook, I can show you that. Yeah, I might be able to. But let's go back to the beginners a little bit. Take a step back. How do I take it off? I'm kidding. But Squad is a semi-realistic game. Try to remember that. It's not going to be one-to-one realistic. So that means you're going to be able to pull off a lot of really odd maneuvers in these helis, which is a J-hook. In Squad, the J-hook it can be done a lot of different ways. You can J-hook left, right, with different speeds, different styles. Each pilot, I've kind of noticed, has their own style for the most part when you get to an advanced, how to J-hook. But in general, it's the same for basic movements. You're gonna, one, identify where do I want to land. So I'm gonna notice I'm gonna land in that big open space on top of the hill. I'm gonna put a move mark. Let me make the squad real quick. I'm gonna put a move mark onto where I want to land. That's gonna tell me when I need to J-hook and how far away in the general direction with the compass. I'm gonna make sure I have enough speed, because if I come in this super slow, I don't have any speed, it's going to be hard to J-hook properly. When you first start, it's good to have not that much speed, because it's going to make it easier to control. But in general, you want to try to stay around 100 knots. Anything higher is going to be a little bit more challenging to J-hook, but it'll be easier for you in the future as you get ready to go into more advanced stuff like how to upside down J-hook and etc. Now, number 3 is, like, 3 and 4 is pretty much just how to J-hook in general. So I've identified where I want to land. I'm going to be fast enough. I'm going to be around 100. So I'm going to put my collective to 0 when this gets to 100. Okay, 100. Collective to 0. I'm going to pull back. The helicopter's going to pull back around. Now when it does that pull around movement, I'm going to put my collective to 100 and then drop it. It's going to drop me to the ground, and I'm going to raise it a little bit so it's soft. So it's a soft landing. I'm going to demonstrate one more time. Try to go very slow so that you can kind of understand the movements. When you get into more advanced J-hooks, you will understand that your momentum matters a lot with how you can get this bird to fly. Now, I normally do not use my mouse for J-hooks at all. I use my keyboard because I have stuff blinded, but that's going to be in an advanced video. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time. I'm waiting for this move mark to read 100, and that's when I'm going to J-hook. I've got speed, put it to 100, 0 collective, I'm pulling back around, I'm going to drop, and I'm raised to 100. Now, you see my height was not high enough, so it's going to cause a rough landing. W English. Anyways, and my heli is going to lose health. So, if you don't manage your speed and your descent rate, it's going to hurt your heli and possibly kill you. I've seen it a lot with newer pilots. They will attempt to land and they'll be like, oh, I could just come in with a lot of speed and I should just be fine. Oh, yeah, I could just land because I have like hydraulics and stuff. No. If you come in really fast in these helis, I'm going to do it one more time, and you just dropping, you're going to lose health. Like, I'm going to come in, say I'm going like 40 knots, I'm going to lose health. Now, the impact is very iffy with these helis in the squad. You can be going like probably 5 knots and hit something and you lose a lot of health, or you could be going like 140 knots in the loach and then you end up tapping a hill and you won't take any damage, or you will. It's very iffy. I don't know why. Squad needs to fix that. Let's move on from the Raven, and I'm gonna show you a more, not really advanced J-hook, I'd say, but it's a lot easier than just like the basic 0% collective, pulling up, back, and turning with your mouse. It's like a J motion, but it's reversed, which is literally why it's called a J-hook. But with this heli, this is a lot more maneuverable than the Raven, in my opinion, but it's all physical, so nothing is digital. But that's not really going to matter. If you're looking for my collective and what I'm doing with it, it's going to be right there, load and standby. That's me raising and lowering my collective. So this is 100%, that's 0, and that is 50. We're gonna use the same spot, same move mark on this hill. So a more advanced J-hook is gonna, like, if you understand the basics of speed, you understand how to keep your speed, and you understand how to tell the heli where you want it to go. You know, like, I want to land faster. You're gonna get to that point, and this is gonna be a basic how to land fast. So you, like I said, you always want to keep your speed up, right? If you do not have speed in the alien squad, you will get shot down. There are good gunners, trust me, you will get shot down. I get shot down a lot. So I play in a lot of really good servers. There's a lot of really good players. So I've got my speed, theoretically. I know I'm slow because I have to turn around, show you this. But I'm gaining speed, I'm keeping my pitch down to keep it, and I'm making little corrections. I'm going to the LZ, it's the same motion, but just faster. So, 0 collective, pull up, around, 100, drop. I'm going to make little corrections, and I'm on the ground. If you're not just doing the basic 4 steps, then we can have a problem when you want a J-hook. But it's the first 2 are kind of just like basic things. You want to understand where your LZ is and make sure you have your speed to get to that. If you want to look at my airspeed, it's in knots. Currently going like 110. Anyways, if you want more space in this training range, I recommend going to this really big little range. It's going to be very helpful to just get the understanding of how to do it, not really how to go to like a very specific location. In actual games, you're going to want to know how to do that, like how to land on a building or a roof or in between buildings or trees. It's just going to end up happening. Someone's going to want a radio in an odd spot, and you're going to have to like try to get it in. But a faster J-hook is more or less just going to be the same steps. I'm just going to kind of do it around that move. It's not really going to be specific. When you understand how to fast J-hook, you're going to end up not really caring about distance. You kind of just do the motions, and you'll kind of just come around and land. I'm going to tell you what I just did. I kind of just didn't really explain. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the same basic J-hook steps, but I'm going faster, but I'm changing 2 things. The first thing I'm changing is I'm using my spacebar to raise my heli up. When you do not have this binded, nothing's going to happen with your spacebar in the heli. But it helps me turn it around without using my mouse, because I know some of y'all don't have any mouse pads or really any desk space. I don't. But if you have these 2 keybinds binded, it's going to make it a lot easier to J-hook. So let's go into that real quick. I'm going to go into controls. I'm going to go to helicopter. And you're going to notice my pitch up is bounded to spacebar, and my pitch down is bounded to my left shift. I have roll right to E and roll left to Q. Everything else is standard. You got A and D, be all left and right. This is already binded. and WS for collective. This binding this right and roll left is just for barrel rolls. I wouldn't recommend trying to learn how to fly using your mousing, like just your mouse and not your mouse, just your keyboard and not your mouse. It's better with your mouse because you can just get the basics. If you want to learn on keyboard, go ahead. Wouldn't recommend it though. So, what I'm doing for the faster J-hook is, again, the same 4 steps. I'm going to know where I'm going to land, I'm going to have my speed, and I'm going to perform the J-hook very fast, right? Now, instead of, like, your traditional J-hook, pulling back, not having a specific landing, just ignore the move mark. Instead of just pulling back with the mouse, right, and turning around, I'm going to end up dropping my collective to 0 and just using my spacebar and my D key to turn the heli around. So I'm gonna collective 0, space and S. Not space and S, space and D, and it's gonna flip my heli around really fast. If I want to go the other direction, I'm going to use space and A, and I'm going to turn my heli very slightly to the left. So, get a little lower, so it's easier to demonstrate. So I'm going to collective 0, space and S, not S, space and A. Can't speak English. And you see how fast my heli turns around? That's with like barely any input on my mouse. I'm just barely pushing it to whatever direction I want it to go, and my collective up and my like nose is just taking that heli around. On the basic J-hook, you're kind of just like telling it, okay, I want you to go this direction, and then you have to make a lot of other like corrections, and it's complicated. Like, very complicated. And I can't speak English today. Probably learn that. Anyways, it's complicated. But when you get to the faster J-hook, you realize it's a lot easier than you kind of wondered, or at least thought it was. Because you probably see all these pilots like, oh my god, they're so good, they can J-hook fast. No, they're really just using their keyboard, and it's doing the rest for them. Like, other than J-hooking, the basics of flying a heli is relatively simple. I want my pitch down almost all the time. You want to stay low unless you're doing like other things like spotting or dropping off troops and you want to be sneaky. It's very like specific on how you want to fly in the situation that you're going to be facing in squad. It's going to change. So it's not like, oh, I'm always going to do recon. Squads are going to want pickups, they're going to want radios. It's just going to happen. If you want a advanced tutorial on barrel rolling and zero flipping, I will have that next. But other than that, that is the basics on how to fly heli in squad, how to J-hook as well. You're gonna kind of understand when you first fly in this game that this is very like different than any other game I've played, at least with helis. It's the same basic principles with helicopters, but it's just tweaked a little bit. I don't really know how to explain it. These two helis, I recommend going into Jensen's training range, and you're gonna want to pick Turkey and PMC. PMC has the Raven helicopter, which I was flying earlier, and the UH-1H, oh wait, no, UH-1Y. correct. Yes, UHMY. Or UH1H. I can't speak English. This heli is harder to fly because it has a physical collective. Other than that, these helis pretty much handle the exact same. There's also the Loach Cass, which is the close air support heli. This heli is the same thing as the Loach Scout, except it's just armed with guns. I wouldn't even touch this, if I'm honest. I would just try to, if you're going to fly any heli, I would stick to the Scout. This thing is like a mosquito. It's easy to learn how to barrel roll with this, but it is very difficult to land. This thing has a lot of speed because it's super light, and it's going to have a lot of momentum from that. But, anyways, I will catch you in another squats over in a heli.